I think it is part of this cultural Marxism, and attacking tradition and culture is part of their tool. But when you narrow it down to the demonstrations on the football field, actually the answers are coming back pretty fast. People are disgusted with it, and they're disgusted with the football players. They're disgusted with the owners. They're starting to boycott, and I think that is very good. I just think the president ought to just be a lot less noisy about it.
Getting into the NFL thing, we have the WikiLeaks. It's George Soros saying, let's go to culture war, even during the campaign, promote racial division. You had a black president. You've got all these millionaire football players. People are tuning out of the NFL in droves, and they're only accelerating it as we see more and more wound up attacks on white churches. Whites are being killed in hate crimes. And it's so fashionable to be anti-white. And if you point that out, all this anti-white racism, they call us racist when everybody knows you and I and others have been calling for unity and, really bringing the country together. What is all this about? Where do you see this going? What's going to end up happening?
Well, I think it is part of this cultural Marxism, and, attacking tradition and culture is part of their tool. But when you narrow it down to the demonstrations on the football field, actually the answers are coming back pretty fast. People are disgusted with it, and they're disgusted with the football players. They're disgusted with the owners. They're starting to boycott, and I think that is very good. I just think the president ought to just be a lot less noisy about it. Threatening people, that they're committing some crime. No, this can all be solved with a libertarian understanding of property. What those ball players do is determined by the owners, just as it would be in your studio or in your house or in my house. It's the ownership. So it has nothing to do with government and freedom of speech. It has nothing to do with the First Amendment. But it has a lot to do with what the cultural Marxists is trying to do. But the people who condone this and encourage it and expand this with the kneeling business, I think that's dangerous. But it's a reflection of the ownership. It can be stopped immediately by just the owner saying, no more. That is it. But if they condone it, you can't write a law, and you can't intimidate. You can't say they're right under the First Amendment. No, it has nothing to do with the First Amendment.
I totally agree with you.
It has to do with what the owners are going to do with their property, and the market will answer.
No, I agree. Trump's gone too far when he talks about having a rule. It's his right to come out and say he thinks they're, idiots or whatever. But when he goes further, he then starts encroaching on free speech. I mean, I think a lot of it's figurative, but then how do the owners not let them do celebrations in the end zone, even though they're hiking their leg, peeing on the president symbolically? How can they fine them for that, but not fine them if they don't stand for the Star-Spangled Banner? And I get it's free speech. You shouldn't have to stand. My point is there's this open globalist attack on America now, and that's why I'm simply saying I have my free speech to say I am going to boycott the NFL forever.
That's the answer. That's the answer. Boycott them. And if the owners want to act like jerks and prohibit one sort of expression of a political opinion and not the other one, then they just dig a bigger hole for themselves. And I the other thing about this, I need to get this in if possible. A lot of this got worse once the football team started taking money from the government to promote this super nationalism and militarism, because all of that military stuff, they get a lot of money, but that's to support the interventionist foreign policy and the military can do no wrong. It's support for the empire. That is where the problem is. And the American people should absolutely not allow our government to give 1 cent to the football and advertise there to promote the militarism of our government.
We only have 45 seconds real quick on the economy. If we don't get the tax cuts, Paul Ryan wants taxes to be raised now. If we keep Obamacare, most analysts say that will cause a new recession or depression and cause that big implosion you've been warning of. 30 seconds on that, Dr. Paul.
Well, it looks bad. I sure hope they can get the tax cut through. If they blow that, then we're really in trouble. But it's not unusual to develop, some of these welfare programs. It's almost impossible to stop them. And hopefully, though, we can compensate Trump, if I had to look for one thing, he has set an atmosphere where there'll be less regulation. If he can get a tax cut through, that will be helpful. But
yes, sir. Thank you, Dr. Paul. Thank you for all your time.
In ancient times, man roamed the earth in a constant state of hunting or being hunted. Introducing Caveman, where cutting-edge science meets ancient super nutrients. Secure your bottle right now at InfoWarsStore.com.